Hi everybody, welcome to the first episode of Jack Stack. Now, I like to collect things. I collect movies, I collect plastic model kits, I collect Funko Pops, laser discs, you name it, I probably collect it. And the best part of having any type of collection is being able to share it. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. If I find something cool along my travels, I'll put it up and let you know about it. And now, with introductions out of the way, let's get started with the first episode. So I purchased these at my local comic book convention. It was Chocolate Boo that first piqued my interest. I thought it was a very interesting looking figure, but then when I noticed that they also had Frieza and Cell, I decided to buy the set. They didn't have Vegeta, but I bought that on Amazon and it came pretty quickly. So I'll start things off with Vegeta. He's the first villain of the Dragon Ball Z series, the first major villain, and I love how his arms are crossed. It's a very typical Vegeta pose to have his arms crossed. So I really like that they have that. Also, especially since a lot of Funko Pops tend to have their arms just at their side in a generic position, so the fact they did something with his arms, I thoroughly enjoy. I'm also very glad that they included the Scouter on him, especially since it gets destroyed very early into the fight. So to keep it on there just seems very nice, very good decision. It really gives it a really cool design there. Definitely one of my favorite ones out of this particular set. Next there's Frieza, the next major villain of the series. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of things to say about this one. Not that he's bad, it's just that Frieza's particular design doesn't give me a whole lot to be excited for. So when it translates to the figure, there's not really a heck of a lot that stands out on here. Even his arms are the generic holding arms to the side pose. It would have really been cool to see the classic Frieza come at me pose instead. Although I will say one thing about the design, I like that the tail keeps it stable. This helps since the inherent downfall of figures with large heads, it makes them top heavy and they tend to fall down fairly easily. Whereas the tail stabilizes it and makes it more difficult for Frieza to fall down, which is a good thing. Next is Perfect Cell. Cell's design is amazing, both on the figure and in the original show. All the green and the dots. Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, had a very difficult time drawing all the spots in every single panel, but it really makes Cell stand out and look awesome. Each piece is detailed, where you can see the separation between each one of his parts, his forearm, his arm, his legs, etc. Especially in the back where you can kind of see the different parts of his wing. Also, I don't know why, but I really love Cell's short tail, so I'm glad that that is included. Although it could just be me, but I feel like the model is leaning forward a bit further than the other ones. I don't know, it could just be me. And then there's the final villain of the series, Majin Buu. For those who have not seen the series, the Majin Buu character can turn other characters into candy. This attack is used against him at some point in the series, and he gets turned into chocolate. So the chocolate version is a cool reference to that particular moment in the show. Now, I don't own the original version of this character, so I don't know if it's due to the chocolate variant, or just that this is a particularly large figure. This one does seem to have a bit of extra weight to it, which I really like. It's a very sturdy figure. Plus it's another figure with a different arm pose, so that's always a plus for me. And that brings an end to my opinion on my Dragon Ball Z Pops. I would like to end these episodes with what I call recommendations, where I go over some figures I would love to see made in the future. Now there are way too many characters in the Dragon Ball franchise to go over every character I would love to see made into Dragon Ball Z Pops, so I'll just stick to the villain Pops this time. In the show, Vegeta can turn into a giant ape. This would be a really cool figure that I would buy in a heartbeat. They already have large pops like Godzilla and King Kong, so it shouldn't be too difficult to design a giant ape Vegeta. An often abused trope of Dragon Ball Z villains is the ability to transform to new forms, and Frieza has quite a few. My personal favorite is the third form. It just has a cool and weird design, and I think the figure of this form would be amazing. I mean, they already have a Xenomorph Pop from the Alien franchise. Third form Frieza isn't that much different. First and second forms would be pretty cool as well. Cell also has a variety of forms, so there's only 2 forms left to make figures out of. So I would say, make a pop out of Imperfect Cell. The horrifying design would make an amazing pop, and the tail would help keep the figure up, like with Frieza. And you guessed it, Majin Buu has multiple forms as well. More than most of the villains. Most of the forms I do not care about, but I do think the Evil Grey, Buu Tanks, and Buuhan forms would make great pops. Special recommendation to Bardock, Goku's father, and Demon King Piccolo, who may have been from Dragon Ball instead of Dragon Ball Z, but still a cool character to see a pop of one day. So that concludes the first episode of Jack Stack. Tune in next time, where I might go over some of the Laserdiscs I own. See you then.